The ambassador's performance yesterday was laughable, suggesting that actually Britain may have manufactured this chemical, and then unleashed it against somebody which could have killed a British police officer. The Russian position has been wholly exposed, and even the Labour front bench now have coming round to the fact that Putin was responsible.
Yeah, Kevin, where does Jeremy Corbyn stand now? Because we had a number of Labour front benchers over the weekend standing shoulder to shoulder with the Prime Minister, but does that isolate Jeremy Corbyn?
I think he's under fire within his own party, unquestionably. However, he's sticking to Theresa May's position of last Monday that it's either Putin's authorised it, or they've lost control of it, and rogue elements have used this, which still makes the Russian state, the government, culpable. I'm actually with Corbyn's position.
I was going to say, playing devil's advocate, Peter Hitchens, of all people, ran to his rescue yesterday, and I read that piece. It was quite a compelling piece, actually, in the Mail on Sunday, because what he said was, look, we don't actually know for sure, do we?
No, we don't. And what's happened is Theresa May, at times, not always, there are some qualifications in what she says, has jumped to the conclusion it is Putin. What you have to do, and it points that way, I agree, but you have to build the case. This is what we did with Litvinenko, and he followed the radiation back to Moscow.
Boris Johnson said yesterday, quite firmly, that the government now believed Russia's been stockpiling Novichok for 10 years. They deny having any of it, don't they?
They're lying. And actually, Corbyn's position is bizarre, because what
you know what you reminded me of, Andrew, before you say that?
Yeah.
This reminded me of the British government with Saddam Hussein, to a certain degree.
What, weapons of mass destruction?
He has weapons of mass destruction, he's been stockpiling them, he won't let the inspectors in, and so we have to go to war. And I think that people with long memories of this stuff actually may not be quite as hostile towards Corbyn, who voted against the Iraq War, by the way, and have voted against Libya, to say, well, hang on a second, slow down.
Yeah, but the difference
let's make sure we're right.
The difference is here, 3 people are in hospital seriously ill as a result of something that happened on British soil, and everybody knows what nerve gas it was, and it's Russian nerve gas, and Putin is on record as saying he will get former spies, he will take revenge. He's on record as saying that, and we know his record. A nerve agent.
Yeah, apparently there is a difference. We're going to have an expert in a few minutes,
but remember what also
Corbyn
also said, hang on, but what Corbyn also said was he backed the Russian line that the British government should send a sample of this nerve agent to the Russian embassy, to Russian investigators. What? And then they'll look at it and say, oh, yeah, it was us. Oh, after all, we'll admit it was a ridiculous position. What are they going to do? Send it over in a jiffy bag?
No, instead of jumping straight across and saying, you did it, you've got to say, we believe you did it. And if they ask to see the evidence, as you would in any trial, then you've got to show them the evidence. Now,
this is a rogue state. This is a gangster president.
I've no doubt they will say it's nothing to do with them.
Of course
but nevertheless, when you get with our experts in, and we're going to have from the Organisation for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, when they come in, maybe they can analyse it, and you can see how old it is. I don't know if it deteriorates. You can get a lot of evidence, and that's the way to proceed. And it points towards Putin and the Kremlin because of what's happened before. But the way Russia operates, it's not impossible.
I'll tell you something that
an agent has done this.
Something that is really striking.
It's not impossible.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, something that's striking the wrong tone at the moment is the fact that various ambassadors who people have interviewed are treating this slightly like it's a joke. You know, hinting perhaps that it was Porton down and that we did it ourselves. The Russian embassy have various tweets saying, oh, now it's time to bring in Hercule Poirot. I mean, if they're genuinely concerned about the fact that there is a Russian citizen and, you know, I mean, whatever they feel about the double agent and a British police officer in hospital, they're not treating it with the seriousness it deserves.
It's cavalier, and it's my mind that it underlines their guilt, frankly.
I think it's classic deflection.
Yeah.
You do not normally want to answer the direct question. Did you do it, yes or no? And they don't want to say no most of the time. Okay. So, therefore, you make it a joke.